Hello everyone and welcome to one more broadcast. Today's topic is one of my favorites, customer success. We are going to be showing you how GlobalConnect were able to reduce in 84% their time spent while managing their projects. Isn't that amazing? So let's kickstart. We are Proactive, part of the Fellowmind group with over 28 offices across Europe. My name is Alan Rocha. I'm the Director of Project Operations and Business Applications within our Danish office, and I have been spending over 17 years of my career dedicated to the project and portfolio management field. I have also written 3 books about the topic, and not forgetting that I hold and keep my title of Microsoft Most Valuable Professional for over 11 years. Oh, we cannot forget that we have also been awarded as the global winner for the Microsoft Partner of the Year 2020 in the project and portfolio management field. Thank you, Microsoft, for this amazing recognition. Jumping into the content for the presentations of today, we will give you a deep dive of the GlobalConnect customer case and tell you a little bit of the journey and the background before things were already implemented. We will give you an idea of what is half double for portfolio and what is this methodology bringing to the table and why is such an innovative methodology that is really shaking the market of project and portfolio management. We will give you a solution overview from a technical side, that means which products from the Microsoft family can we take advantage of, and also a tool demonstration. We will navigate through most of the modules implemented at GlobalConnect and how they connect with the methods described in the half-double methodology. There is a testimonial from our customer in the end of this presentation, and also which are the implementation steps you and your organization can also take in order to have a successful implementation of a project management tool like GlobalConnect. Moving on, I would like to touch base on the 2 aspects from this from the half-double part. That means we need to understand what the methodology is bringing to the solution and also what are the technologies that we have been applying to match those capabilities. Before we kickstart this project, we had a very important requirement. We had to keep 100% fidelity and compliance with the methodology itself. And why this is so important is because half-double was developed and have several researches around these projects for the past years. That means if we change something, we might be changing the results as well. So keeping the fidelity and compliance with the methodology was extremely important for us. Half-double has 3 most important pillars, and here we already see a difference from other traditional methodologies for managing projects. Half-double keeps track and focus on the impact, flow, and leadership. These are the 3 most important components in the half-double methodology that are going across the entire methods and all the concepts described in this amazing methodology. We are going to be exploring each one of them in details in a little bit more. If we look how half-double for portfolio it's established and what they're actually the 2 most important domains for half-double portfolio is the first one, do the right projects. So if you select the right projects, this is one of the key points for half-double to help you identify and keep projects aligned with your strategy. And in the bottom, we have do the projects right. That means once I have selected those projects, how can I ensure that I'm running and executing those projects in the right way? Half-double also have, and why the name half-double is as it is, because they aim for half the number of projects to double the impact on your portfolio. And also the projects in half of the time with double the impact. Okay, Alan, but what does that mean? If we look at this chart, you start to understand how the methodology is differentiating from other processes and methods for managing projects. The idea of half-double is to really bring this hybrid mode into the agile and traditional project management, letting you to bring and reduce the time to impact for your projects. So in few words, it's double the impact in half of the time. You start releasing bits of your projects across the execution that will bring value from the beginning, and also raising some awareness within your organization and also creating a lot more impact with that project. So Half Double has a lot more that you can explore. And by the way, I have here in my hands the book, which I highly recommend. It's an amazing book and will give you a lot of insights about the methodology and why it's such an innovative and different methodology. One of the agile principles that are present in the Half Double, and we had to take care of that within the GlobalConnect implementation, is, if you look at the project management side, we see at the impact pillar that stakeholder satisfaction, it is an ultimate criterion. We have to ensure stakeholder satisfaction. In the flow, high intensity and frequent interactions, it's something we have to take care of. So the tool must be agile and dynamic to ensure that we get the right flow within our projects. In the leadership part, we really embrace the uncertainty and make sure that the project is happening according to the plan. When we add the layer of the portfolio side, we have to keep in mind different pillars, or actually different aspects. Stakeholder satisfaction now is not on the project side, but on the strategic impact of your organization. In the flow side, we run fewer projects, but with more intensity, short and fat, ensuring that those projects fit with the capacity available in your organization, giving you the most out of it. And we keep keeping the leadership part with uncertainty, but now with senior leaders much more closer to the projects due to the fact that there are less projects for you to run because you have selected them properly. Strategic impact, short and fat flow, committed leadership. That's what Half Double is about. Moving on, Half Double have selected and it focuses on 9 methods to reduce time to impact within your projects. All these methods are described in the methodology, and we are going to be basing on them across the entire presentation. You see, while I'm demonstrating the tool, each one of the methods that we are using, and also why we have been complied to that specific method. We are not going into the details on each one of those methods. They can be found on the Half Double Institute website, but it's very important to see how we took care of ensuring that we are complied, and our tool is not only complied, but also raising and notifying when you are going a little bit far from what the methodology requires. Now that we have the same baseline about the Half Double methodology, we are going into the technology part. In the technology part, of course, it is a very interesting aspect, but we are very familiar with most of the tools and products we have been using here. We are connecting the Microsoft modern work management capabilities to ensure that we are able to deliver to GlobalConnect the best user interface and integration across different services. We are complying into and using, and I would say we are taking full advantage of the Microsoft Power Platform, which consists of the Microsoft Power BI, Power Apps, and Power Automate. Those tools has this concept of low code, no code. I have an entire webinar about this, so I'm not going to be describing in details each one of them, but it's important to mention that Project for the Web and Microsoft Teams are key factors that have been incorporated into our solution to ensure success into this implementation. Moving on, if we look at the modules, we have implemented several, or I would say almost every module in the Half Double methodology in our system. But that does not mean that you guys or your organization should use all of them in your projects. It's completely the opposite direction. You have to select the ones that first matches with your requirements and also understand the adoption of those modules. Selecting the right set of modules require what we call a local translation of the tool. And if we jump into the GlobalConnect case, we are going to be talking about this local translation in a second. So the GlobalConnect case, and if we look at the background history of this case, GlobalConnect is a leading European technology and data communications provider, which was extremely, I would say, demanded over the COVID-19 pandemic, because they are providing a very important service that is connectivity. While we are all working from home and we have to be connected, the hospitals or any other organization needs connectivity, and GlobalConnect ensures all of this. So their demand has been increasingly extremely fast over the past years. They were already on a journey, or we call a 2-year digital transformation journey, where GlobalConnect decided to go for the half double for portfolio methodology. They previously have been using the Prince 2, which it was enough at the time, but it was not giving them everything they needed and also the impact they were looking for. Once they have selected the half double methodology, GlobalConnect has to decide of which platform they're going to be using, and Microsoft platform was the selected platform in this case, and we are going to be exploring all the components we are using in this solution. As a result, as you have already seen, GlobalConnect have streamlined all its process and reduced in 84% the amount of hours used while managing their projects. This is really amazing. It's a result we all want to hear from our customers. Moving on, when I mention about the local translation, it's important to understand that this is a crucial piece of your implementation. When you are looking at the half-double methodology, you have to take care of which modules we are going to be using. So if I take one of these modules as an example, for example, the project organization, the half-double methodology gives you a baseline of everything and how much you can allocate your resource across the organization and across the project, but the local translation will identify what is most important for your case. On each one of those modules, we are going to be seeing how these look like into the tool. So let's move into the demonstration of the solution. Now, the solution overview. What we have done here is we brought the basic architecture or logical architecture of project for the web and how to manage projects, and we kind of plugged into the GlobalConnect's environment. When we have done that, we are using things that are already there. For example, Office 365 groups, Teams, Power BI, Outlook, and even Power Automate. These are products that already exist into your subscription. So each one of these components in the solution overview, it's probably already present within your organization. The only thing we did was to connect them to the purpose of enabling and empowering the project management capabilities within GlobalConnect. If we go for each one of those items in details, first of all, the entire solution is fully accessible through Teams. Teams is a key piece for our collaboration and communication nowadays, and we had to ensure that everything could be accessible through Teams. So once a project is created, a team can automatically be provisioned, and people from that team, the project team members, can start already working and collaborating. Not only that, but the PMO can also use Teams to take important decisions and also evaluate insights directly within the tool that they're using every day, which is Microsoft Teams. Then, if we look at the portfolio overview or the portfolio of projects, the tool gives you a clear overview of all the stages that you are working on, giving you KPIs that allow the management and the PMO to identify problematic projects. And how we are matching this with the half-double methodology, we are using the item number 6 of the methods, that is actually visual planning and project visuals, allowing us to clearly evaluate all the projects that we are working on and how many projects we have running within our organization. Project F-Double comes with a very interesting concept of the funnel, and that means you get a lot of new ideas coming into your organization, so we need to identify and collect them. The funnel is used to bring all these new ideas to be evaluated. But most important, when you're looking at these items, you can always filter and evaluate which stage you are actually taking care of. So projects that are in the funnel, projects that are maybe waiting for approval, all of these are enabled for the management to look through the Power BI reports and directly into the system. The portfolio overview also, it's a comprehensive set of reports that really gives the overview that half-double requires in order to evaluate how the projects are going in KPIs, graphical indicators, and also amount of work expected to be done. You can use interactive filters to navigate through these reports and also export it into a PDF file for offline collaboration. There is a very interesting concept within the HFW which is called the free slots. And I really love that because the free slots or the execution slots, they tell you in a very simplistic way how many projects you can run on each one of those stages. Imagine that you don't need to look at all the factors across the organization like funding or cost, time or resource capacity. You can just look at the free slots, and if you have an available slot for that specific stage, you know, based on, of course, how we have set this up, that you are able to run that project. Which means when you go into an overview of how many projects you can take or how many projects you can run at the time, the tool will automatically let you know with graphical indicators if you are overloaded with a specific stage, so you probably have to approve some projects or maybe hold on some initiatives, but it will easily tell you how many slots or how much is the capacity your organization can handle and how many projects are there. Once those slots are fulfilled, you see a graphical indicator telling you that you cannot take any new projects. So you know that you probably have to start working on delivering on those promised projects. The project summary model gives you an overview in a very simplified way of the entire model of the methodology, showing you graphically what and when you do things. So you can see here that I have my funnel, my first approval, which we call DP1, the impact solution design, and so on. Also, cannot forget that each one of those stages have a set of criteria that allow and guide the project managers of what has to be done. For example, if I'm on the impact solution design, I can clearly see that I have some criteria, like I have to detail my strategic and impact fit, I have to define my core team and assign the resource. It's kind of a self-guidance within the tool, which gives a lot of confidence to the users. Those criteria are not only visible within the project, but from the management side of view, you can evaluate how many projects and where they are in our model. This updated model was a translation or a local translation done exclusively for HFW within GlobalConnect. The project summary overview gives you this one slide that tells you everything about your project, how much money you are being invested on that project, what is the progress, objective hierarchy, and we can split or define different overviews within the same project that makes more sense for the users. When you look at the Lighthouse map, you are able to really match strategy with execution. What that means, I can see, based on the vision and strategies that I have defined or the drivers of my organization, how many initiatives are actually aligned with them. And to be compliant with the HFW methodology, there is also a time to impact in months. That means you are able to see not only if it's aligned with the strategy, but how long it will take for you to really get those benefits back. And that is a very important crucial factor while making decisions of where and what you should be investing on. We have the Impact Check project status. This gives you an overview of how the progress of the project is going in regards of their status on resource, cost, and the traditional KPIs we have seen on the project, the portfolio management field. But most important here, it gives with a tool called Progress and Insight Tweets. Instead of looking at all the details, the project manager has to follow the same concept as Twitter, where you have 140 characters to tell about your project. And that is a great idea from HFW because with a very short statement, you're able to provide all the information needed about your project. Once that is captured, we show all this information and all projects will be compared or evaluated in the same way. When you look at the Impact Checker one-pager, it's a place where we take the last 3 tweets that have been done for that project. We take the leadership status corner, which is the latest status about the project. And not only that, also the evaluation of how the project is going in impact, flow, and leadership. You can easily, on this Impact pager, one-pager, evaluate how your project is going and take any decision about that. And it's a great tool for really communicating about your project across your organization. And moving on, we have done also the impact case, impact tracking module. And what you can evaluate here is you're identifying what are the business impact and behavior impact that you are expecting to have on this project. You are going to be looking at not only those elements, but you can set a baseline and keep track month after month or quarter after quarter of how those business impacts or impact tracking are evolving. What that means, once you are running your project, you can evaluate if you have reached or not one specific impact objective. That's a great tool for project managers and the organization to see if the projects are evolving correctly. So month after month, you're able to evaluate how things are going based on a baseline set and current status. One of my favorite modules within the Half Double, it is the priority grid. The priority grid brings not only a very simplified but powerful way for you to prioritize your projects. There is a mathematical formula or algorithm behind the scenes that allow you to rank your projects against each other and take full overview of which project is the most relevant or important for your organization. Remember, select the right projects and run them in the right way. When we look here at the priority grid, the users, or what we are collecting here, is we identify the business value of that project. We also use time to criticality. We take a look at the risk reduction and opportunity on that project. We made some calculations that give us the time weight impact. This is a formula used by Half Double to really give you an overview of how much time is going to be needed to generate impact within that project. We cannot forget one very important component, which is the job size and complexity. Once you have done that, we will be generating a portfolio weight, and that portfolio weight can be compared across every project within your portfolio, because it's kind of the factor that you have to decide if that project is relevant or not relevant for your organization. When we look at this from a perspective of decision taking or decision making, we look at the portfolio prioritization grid in a very, very easy, simplistic way. What that means, if a project is actually having a very high time weight to impact and a very low time to impact in month, that means it's extremely important for me and has a very short time to be delivered. These are the right projects. So you can, by quick looking at this overview, identify which project you should be investing on or keeping the project running, or maybe putting more resources on top of it. The size, it tells us the risk. So imagine, for example, that this project, as we see here, it is taking a very long time to be executed. It's not bringing a lot of impact to the organization and is a very risky project. So you can easily identify each project and how they are impacting your organization. We keep track and we set those baselines because priorities can change across time. Every time you made a change on this set of business drivers or prioritization criteria, we actually save them for future evaluation, so you can also see how the project has been evolving across time and how the priorities have been changed. Everything that you have seen until now also works on a mobile and tablet app. That means Microsoft provides us with a native application that can run on your mobile phones on Android, Windows, and also on iOS. And it's almost 100% fidelity within this solution you saw in the web interface. What that means, you are on the go and you're still able to interact, to raise, and also to provide information about your projects. We have another method that is present on the Half Double methodology in the impact and solution design, and we call it the MVP design. You're able to keep track when things are happening and what you can expect. It's a great way to visualize how the project is generating impact across time. This is another example of the MVP design, and what we actually try to do is we have the methodology. That means when you're running the MVP design, you're trying to reduce time to impact and to enhance early value creation in project execution. The technology that we had to apply to really match with this concept is we have built a custom-made grip component that exclusively allow the project managers to use graphical visualizations and a rich interface to interact and provide that information for us. We are taking full advantage of a tool for project management called Microsoft Project for the Web, as I have mentioned before, and this gives you the ability to realistically plan your projects. You have a grid view, I would say, for Excel lovers. We have an Agile board for sprint planning for Kanban lovers, and also a traditional look-like, or I would say a timeline view for traditional project managers. That means when you are planning your project, even though you are using an Agile methodology, you are able to realistic plan and see what is happening on each one of those phases. We have leadership, or what we call the high caliber resources, which is also part of the half-double portfolio leadership roles. And what is important here is the tool will help you keep track of what is recommended in the half-double methodology. How much percentage of impact owners or core team or project leaders have I allocated to this project? Once you have allocated those resources to your project, the tool will automatically tell you if you are compliant or not. And remember, half-double has been backed up by researchers across over the past years, and it's important that we keep track on those numbers. If you are exceeding or under using some of those roles, the tool will automatically raise and tell you that you need to pay attention to that specific item. We automatically generate this visualization for each one of those projects. Once you have built the team, you can easily identify what is the steering committee people associated to that project, what are the key project stakeholders, and so on. We have a stakeholder analysis, which will allow you to not only identify the key stakeholders, but also their attitude towards the project and their importance. We have provided now for GlobalConnect a people or capacity management module. That means GlobalConnect now can not only select the right projects, run them properly, but now they're optimizing their resource allocations and availability. Every time a new project is being raised, we are able to match the skill set required on that project using the technology that is present on the Universal Resources Scheduling in Microsoft Dynamics 365 and matching exactly with the right resources that can execute that task. With overviews inside our reports, we can even track which month is going to be with higher demand and which months we are still having some idle resources, so we can evaluate and allocate them to different projects. We, of course, incorporated some traditional processes for project management within this solution. We are also able to evaluate risk modules, including graphical illustrations of those risk modules. All those risks can be raised and roll up to the entire organization, so the PMO or your management team can evaluate which risks are more relevant to be worked on or maybe require some special attention. Post-check is one of my favorite items within the half-double methodology. This is what we call like the heartbeat of the project. It's a bi-weekly scheduled survey that will evaluate across all stakeholders how is this project going. So once the project is running, we automatically send those surveys asking you, are you confident that the content of this project is going to the right direction? There is a set of questions that half-double provided to us, and we can use them to evaluate how the project is going. We cannot forget that the post-check also can be evaluated across all your portfolio of projects. Now I'm looking at the results across time for a specific project, telling me how much my impact flow and leadership status are going. And as you can see in this example, we are losing a little bit of leadership commitment, so you can react and take the right decisions to make that project back on track. We all know that surveys are very time consuming, so we took advantage of one of the most common tools in the Microsoft family, Microsoft Outlook, to help users to interact with our system. So look at this. Once you actually run your project and the post check is sent on a bi-weekly frequency, the surveys are automatically arriving on their stakeholders' mailboxes. They don't need to go anywhere. Directly within their mailbox, you are able to rank and evaluate and vote in that specific project. When you have submitted your answers, this is automatically consumed inside the HFDouble tool. With that said, I think it's time to actually read a statement from one of our customer, Peter K. Sonsen. And as you can see here, with the implementation of Project for the Web and the Power Platform, we have seen an 84% reduction in the hours we used for running projects at GlobalConnect. This is an amazing mark, or a very important fact that we have reached, and you can also have the same results. Pay attention of how HFDouble can be implemented in your organization, and you know that there is a tool that also connects to this word and will ensure that you are complied. One of the things that we actually did to achieve these great numbers is in the past, a lot of the documentation that was generated for the projects, they were manually created and was over 15 different methods and tools to be used. After we implemented the solution, now you have live project documentation fully complied with HFDouble, with AI capabilities being implemented and giving you which projects you should be taking attention on, and all the communication around the projects, it's now live. You don't waste time building those documents or updating those documents. They're always up to date within our system. Now let's take a look at the statement from a testimonial for our customer.
Hi, this is Peter K. from GlobalConnect. I'm very proud to announce that we, together with Proactive and Implement, have created a new portfolio management system for GlobalConnect based on the HFDouble framework. This new system is giving us new capabilities that we have not seen before. All the HFDouble documentation that we use for the portfolio meetings when we have to take gate decisions are now inserted and embedded into the system. This means that we don't use Word, Excel, or PowerPoint anymore. On top of that, we have also a real-time resource allocation system embedded, and this means that we can now take a look into the future and see if the resources are available when we have to reshuffle projects. Thank you, Proactive and Implement, for this fantastic system. I'm really looking forward for the new use cases that we're going to develop together in the future.
Thank you, GlobalConnect, for the trust and also all the motivation and commitment to this project. And that's why we are now one, and I would say the first and only customer case for Microsoft Project for the Web available in the market. What are the implementation steps? So this is a very important note for everyone who would like to be in the same journey. Basically, you have to understand that there are some requirements that need to be raised even before we jump into the solution mode. You can start already learning about the HFDouble methodology, but it's important that we will help you define the scope, the best practices, and how this local translation will work for your organization. Once that is done, we have a framework that ensures that we set an environment, we will create and run some workshops together with your team, and also get the solution up and running for improvements that goes across time, and also ensuring that everything is being, from the beginning, generating impact and value for your organization. Do not forget to visit our product called Unified PPM Pro, and it's available on the Microsoft App Source. It was the winner product for 2020 Project Portfolio Management Award, and I can only say thank you all for this, for your time and for this amazing webinar. Do not forget the GlobalConnect case. It's also available in the Microsoft Customer Stories, and we will provide the link in the bottom of this video. And feel free to take a look at this case. It's an amazing case, and it will tell you a little bit more in details what we have already seen today. So thank you very much, and have a great day. Bye bye.